Dune Part 2 opens with this message, almost acting as a warning. Spice, or what is also called melange in the books, is the most valuable substance in the Dune universe. It's essentially what makes interstellar space travel possible and can also grant prescience to those who consume it and can even extend human life. And it really acts as this single commodity which controls the entire universe's economy and power in Dune.
For the Imperium, spice is used by the navigators of the Spacing Guild to find safe paths between the stars. Without spice, interstellar travel is impossible, making it by far the most valuable substance in the universe.
But really, what changed after the banning of thinking machines in Dune? Why are we getting this message as the opening for Dune Part 2? Instead of total control by machines previously in the Dune universe, the control now actually lays in the power of those who are in power of spice, and how spice trades and flows through the universe in Dune. And this actually created a feudal system where the Spacing Guild, the Emperor, and Chom were these lords at the top of the feudal system, and the noble houses or great houses were below them, and it acted in a very similar way to a medieval feudal system. And really this means that not much had actually changed after the banning of thinking machines, but we'll get to that later. This now popular quote from Dune reads, "Once men turned their thinking over to machines in hope that this would set them free, but that only permitted other men with other machines to enslave them." And I don't think there's been a more relevant time to read this quote, or even just read the Dune series itself, because this really connects to the real world as we're seeing all these AI companies spring up into existence, becoming worth hundreds of millions of dollars, hundreds of billions of dollars, some even reaching almost $1 trillion valuation, which is just absolutely insane.
Anthropic secured a $900 billion valuation Thursday following a series...
Are OpenAI and Anthropic actually worth $1 trillion each?
OpenAI looking to raise more money, which could push its valuation to $830 billion.
And more it just seems like we're entering into, or we're already in, this kind of techno-feudalism, whereby technocrats are the lords. Companies like Meta, Google, Anthropic, OpenAI, etc., taking our data and almost turning it against us by making their machines or systems smarter in the process. But honestly, in my opinion, this goes a bit deeper, and to me, the Dune quote resonates more so in this way. Like, as AI is growing more and more, we're giving up much of our thinking to these machines. Like, we rely heavily now on either chatbots or any advanced system that can help us do a lot of thinking for us, in which we don't have to do much of the thinking at all. We can kind of just prompt it and it'll quote unquote give us all the answers. And it's almost like we're becoming less of ourselves by giving up this agency to these machines, to these quote unquote thinking machines. And I think this quote from Dune actually highlights this kind of perfectly, which says, "What do such machines really do? They increase the number of things we can do without thinking. Things we do without thinking, there's the real danger." And I'd honestly argue that this is pretty true even now, and it's becoming more so true because we're already arguably seeing this with students who are heavily relying on AI to even write simple essays, like 1 to 3 page essays, or just any way to help them with their homework. And, you know, for them too, why think at all when you can think less and work less by just prompting a machine, a thinking machine basically, to write an essay for you about whatever topic. You, of course, in my opinion, I think would learn a lot more about yourself and how you are able to write and improve upon your writing skills by actually taking the time to write a 3-page essay instead of having AI basically do it for you. And I think that's really the point here. And we're losing a lot of thinking ability by doing this. I think that's what Frank Herbert's original quote kind of warns us about doing this. Because again, it's saying we are willingly giving up our agency and at the same time losing our freedom and enslaving ourselves further, because we are giving up our thinking abilities, again, in exchange for like this convenience. And it's already happening with like declining literacy rates and seemingly losing cognition, thinking, and creative cognition, once again because of this convenient thinking done by the these supercomputers. And this is what I think ties it all together, is that we're not just giving up our agency and cognition, but we're also giving up power to those who own these machines that we become to rely on. So essentially, a lot of this is to say that even after the Jihad in Dune, the enhanced thinking abilities that Spice produced for space navigators in the Spacing Guild became the kind of new technology that was controlled by few and enslaved so many. Almost like Spice became the new tool for the oppressors in this feudal system, instead of the thinking machines being that tool. Again, this is just my opinion and kind of what I take from Frank Herbert's writing, but Dune, in my opinion, teaches us a lesson about dependency. Just like power over Spice is power over all, or that is the message that we get in Dune Part 2, we can also easily be influenced to give up our agency to thinking machines as easy as we are to give up to like messianic figures like Paul, in a sort of like blind faith and hope for freedom. But really these things can just end up enslaving us more, essentially by giving up a lot of our agency, and in this case too, also giving up a lot of our thinking ability. And I think this translates really well to now in the real world, and I don't think there's been a better time to read Dune than right now, and to make your own opinions of it. But that's kind of what I got as I've been reading through Dune, and I'd love to also hear your opinions in the comments below on what you think this quote or other quotes from Dune or overall themes are really saying. And I'll see you guys in the next one.